Welcome. Today we'll be talking about in-course evaluations and modifications to improve learner performance in computer science. I'm Thomas Gorse and I teach computer science. Welcome to my presentation. The topics for today include identifying our meeting participants, looking at the typical learner profile of the class, a training module overview, view of the lesson format and assessments. We'll discuss in-module evaluations and outcomes, the determinations from student performance data, and ways of assisting our targeted learners. We also have some ways to assist all of our learners, and we'll talk about our student performance data summary. This presentation will share identification and resolution techniques assessed and implemented mid-module to aid identified learners in improving course engagement. Our scenario may best apply to computer science teachers, as that's the example we're using, computer lab and online course teachers, and other career and technology education teachers. First part of our learner profile, we see that the target learners are public high school students in grades 10, 11, and 12. The typical student academic abilities are a known factor. The module we'll discuss is part of a pre-AP computer science course. Our students include a diverse gender and ethnicity mix of high-achieving students, and these students tend to be college-oriented, gifted, talented, and attend multiple AP classes. To continue the learner profile, we see that the class is held in a fully equipped one-on-one Windows-based computer lab with lab management software and a projector. The student group is computer literate, show some proficiency with Microsoft Office applications, and they tend to be well versed in most basic computer-oriented tasks and have established some knowledge of network resource usage within the class already conducted. And they're capable of file management tasks. We'll begin by looking at a pre-AP computer science module teaching Android app icon design. Students are learning to create Android apps using App Inventor software. Like all phone and tablets, these apps require an app icon to be tapped to run. In our lesson, app icons are created in PowerPoint and exported for use later. A graphic element library is provided and is safe to use without concern for copyright or fair use images, as I've acquired the license to all of the images. We'll discuss the correlation between app and icon design to apply real-world concepts to the class and to the icon creation. Assessments and reflections are included within the sequence of labs and activities, and students will practice app icon creation and upload their designs for grading. The lesson will be an instructor-led lesson to teach image access, use, and design concepts. I've prepared a narrated video tutorial for in-class display and made it student accessible for later review. PowerPoint software will be used as our graphic creation application, and as previously noted, all image components are provided via the network, are internally owned, and are safe to use image libraries. Practice session to teach and reinforce concepts is the first major activity prior to the first assessment. As we begin to look at learner assessments, the basic assessment of the students' listening skills and their ability to follow directions is important. Students are empowered to check for understanding with each step, ask questions, seek assistance, modify and improve their graphics as they work, self-assess their progress. In fact, they can even talk to their neighbors, see how they're doing, replay the video, or follow written instructions which are provided for diverse learners. And in the video, we describe the diverse opportunities that are available. Each at-risk student was contacted regarding their specific needs for improvement after an activity or assessment. According to Hamlet, Chickering and Gamson suggest we assess student performance as the course moves along. This ensures student issues may be addressed in a timely fashion, and we can help resolve the students' issues. It's shared that contacting students who are falling behind is a service to them, and we can help them catch up. And that demonstrates concern on the part of the instructor, and being involved with the student is always important. The first in-module formative evaluation is after Lesson 1. Students will watch a video to understand the resources and the steps required to complete app icon creation. Assessment Activity 1 is a 3-question post-video online assessment. You see those questions here. Each question comes from the content found in the video. One question considers the ordering of the process to complete the lesson. Next, we ask the students to identify the folders created and required to complete their work. And last, we check on their awareness of the alternate resource that they can access to complete the lesson without the video. Lesson 1, Activity 1, the online assessment offered questions designed to provide insight into students' listening and comprehension of the video tutorial, their ability to complete an ordered process, a basic use of Windows File Manager and navigating folders and files, and check their possible acceptance of the need for the use of alternative learning resources. As we looked at this, only one student scored below 70%. We're going to say that this learner 1 is named Bob. So let's see how we can help Bob. Strategic in-course corrections were considered, but the issue was found to be a learner-specific lack of familiarity with using Windows and PCs. Bob fell outside of the typical learner profile. So teacher scheduled a meeting with Bob and had a one-on-one discussion and determined that Bob had a low Windows and PowerPoint skill level. He just wasn't that comfortable working on computers. Berridge, Penny, and Wells' research shows that the inability to use technology properly can affect students' experience in a negative way, resulting in increased frustration and resistance to online classes. So we offered some resolutions. The student is encouraged to watch the video tutorial more than once, follow the step-by-step handout that was provided for additional clarification, and schedule time with the instructor during tutorials to learn more about Windows. Ultimately, after doing these things, Bob had spent his time building his skills and was successful in completing his assignments moving forward. The next evaluation uncovered another student in need of special assistance. This was an online matching exercise where you click on the left icon, then click to match it on a design concept on the right. And so the assignment, Lesson 2, Activity 2, is matching app icons to their related phrases. The lesson occurs after the in-class discussion about icon design being matched to the app or the business, because there should be a correlation between what you see visually in your icon and the business or the app that you've developed for it. The visual matching lesson is designed to provide insight into students' logical thought process of matching visual icons to related phrases and their ability to complete a web-based process. Students scored below 7%, and this is Susie. So let's see how we can help Susie. Strategic in-course corrections were again considered, but the issue was found to be a learner need for auditory support. Susie fell outside of the typical learner profile or had an unknown learning need. So in the meeting with Susie, we found out in our one-on-one discussion that there was a need for auditory support and that Susie would do better if she were to use her headphones, watch and listen to the video tutorial more than once if that helps her. And since we have alternate auditory assessments, we provided links to those for her. And they already existed in the original plan because we had a great instructional designer. The only issue was that the need for their use was unknown for this student. So we uncovered that there is an auditory learning need that we can address for the rest of the year. So lucky for us, the instructional designer had already prepared the auditory learner lesson for the same matching activity, and Susie was shown how to access the alternative lessons and was successful in her learning. But with keeping an eye towards assisting all learners and moving forward in the lesson, we offered additional resources for all learners. Later in the sequence of the module, there are additional course assessments offering all students several choices of practice exercises for their vocabulary lessons. We used web-based Quizlet and offered a vocabulary that enables students to choose multiple practice methods, including text, sound, flashcards, matching, and more. Students had full access to practice vocabulary lessons in their learning style before completing the vocabulary formative assessment. And we've provided you this link should you care to visit this learning tool. So our student performance data, and to summarize today, the determinations of data analysis from an assessment or the activity for a specific module led us to uncover several things. Analysis of data identified 2 underperforming students, Bob and Susie. Bob's skills with Windows and PowerPoint were below the norm, and Susie tends to be an auditory learner and benefits from the use of headphones. Bob and Susie fell outside of the typical learner profile or had an unknown need. Post-assessment data was used for performance analysis. Performance and assessment analysis are critical in an ongoing course to make sure student performances are meeting expectations, according to Hamlet. The instructional designer had included alternative resources for diverse learners, and that assisted our students in being more successful. So today we've talked about our meeting group, our learner profiles, training module overview, the lesson format and assessments. We looked at in-module evaluations and outcomes for 2 students under 2 different evaluation methods, the determinations from the student performance data, and how we assisted those targeted learners. Then we briefly addressed how we helped all learners with some alternative study aids and recouped our student performance data. Next, you'll see references, and then that will wrap up our presentation for the day.